Jairam, Ramesh, thank you very much for joining us today. Let me start by asking you a very simple question. Do we need BT brinjal?
We're going through a process of public consultations on the BT brinjal issue. 6 cities we have had the public consultations, with the final consultations on the 6th of February in Bangalore. The GEAC, the Genetic Engineering Approval Committee, has made its recommendations recommending the commercialization of BT brinjal. This decision was made on the recommendation was made on the 14th of October last year, and now I have to take a final call on that.
But the GEAC's decision is under scrutiny because of the fact that they've come to conclusions based on incomplete raw data.
No, the GEAC is a body of the Ministry of Environment and Forests. I'm the Indian Minister for Environment and Forests, and it's my duty to take into account all factors before approving, rejecting or modifying the GEAC recommendation.
I spoke to Pushpa Bhargava a couple of days back, and he says, I quote, "Introduction of BT brinjal will be the single greatest disaster for India after independence." And he also said that you have been under tremendous pressure from the Prime Minister's office.
There's no pressure. There's no pressure. I think I've also seen media reports attributing to Pushpa Bhargava's statement that I'm under pressure from the PMO. Nobody from the Prime Minister's office has spoken to me. Nobody, and I've said publicly that I'm under no pressure from any company, Monsanto or Mahiko. I'm not going to take a decision under pressure from any agriculture university. I'm not going to take any pressure, take a decision under any pressure from any NGO for that matter. Who mastermind these thousands of emails which keep coming to me under different names and different signatures, and the NGOs think that I'm a fool not to spot this game through. So, there's a match fixing all around. Scientists are trying to fix it. The companies are trying to fix it. The NGOs are trying to fix it. But let's see.
One simple thing which has been at the back of my mind, and I wanted to know, one union minister spending so much time about Mahiko, and 3 other ministers making public statements.
I'm not competent to answer this question.
Right, but you're spending a lot of time.
Yeah, it's part of my ministry.
Right.
The GAC is part of my ministry. It's set up by the Environmental Protection Act of 1986, which is one of the foundations of my ministry. And the fight has come to me.
Right.
Had the fight not come to me, I would not have said anything on BT brinjal. The fight has come to me.
Okay. Now moving on to greening India, from taking on into Environment Protection Act. Now I wanted to know what your opinions are on how you're going to arrive at the 20 to 25% reduction in emission intensity.
We set up an expert group under Kirit Parikh's chairmanship, former member of the Planning Commission, a very well-known energy expert. This expert group will continue working for the next year or year and a half. And they're looking at various sectors: the power sector, the transportation sector, the industrial sector, the building sector.
Right.
And all our preliminary numbers show that with new investment coming in, with new technology coming in, and based on the historical performance on emissions intensity in the last 25 years or the last 15 years, reaching a 20 to 25% reduction by 2020 on 2005 reference level should not be very difficult. In fact, we will probably exceed it.
Right, but I'm wondering how. Like for instance, 50 to 60% of our greenhouse gas emissions come from power.
Yeah, so you have better,
right.
less...
Which is primarily dependent on coal.
Yeah, so you have supercritical, you have ultra supercritical, you have IGCC.
That means power will become more expensive, right?
No, that's not automatic. Improved technology can also lead to reduction in costs.
And
so it's not true to say that when you have new technology, automatically power becomes more expensive. Power need not become expensive. With new technology coming in, with unit sizes going up, power costs may in fact fall. So my sense is that in fact power costs, and most of these new power projects that are coming up, remember, are based on tariff-based competitive bidding.
right.
So once you have tariff-based competitive bidding, and broadly speaking they are between 2 rupees to 2.5 rupees per unit, all the technology costs are inbuilt into the tariff bids that these companies are putting forward. And according to the CERC, according to a CERC order which was issued a couple of years ago, by March 2011, all projects in India, all power projects in India should be awarded on the basis of tariff, lowest tariffs.
That's right, but my question still is, why is there so much emphasis on coal? 50 to 60% of our
because coal is a dominant energy resource. We have the world's third largest resource,
right?
Third largest sort of inventory of coal. We have coal. We have problems. We're not able to ramp up our nuclear power generating capacity at the rate at which we should. Today, nuclear accounts for less than 4% of our capacity.
But
by 2020, probably it will reach about 8 to 9%. For a population of 1 billion people, increasing its population by 10 to 12 million every year, renewables cannot be the answer. It is part of the answer, but not the answer. So, and hydro presents a lot of environmental problems. So you are dependent on coal.
But how about solar energy? You have
solar. See, all these renewables are, these are nice romantic ideas. But to think that 1 billion people, increasing population of 12 million, a nation of 1.7 billion, which we will be by the year 2030, is going to run on solar energy and wind energy. I think this is a romantic notion.
Okay, let us assume that coal is going to be a primary source. Doesn't it conflict directly with your ministry? I mean, no?
It doesn't. I mean, we have to find better ecologically sustainable ways of mining coal. We have to find.
This is theoretically speaking.
No, it's not.
Great.
It's not.
But
it's not. We are looking at. We have rejected a large number of applications where coal mines are situated in good forest areas.
Right.
At the same time, we have given the signal, go-ahead signal, for a number of these ultra mega power projects which use coal. So it's a balance we have to find. My ministry's job is not to say no all the time. We are not a ministry for moratorium and crematoriums. We are also a ministry for development. We have to find the balance between environment and growth.
Let me quote you.
The real challenge.
Let me quote you on this. There's this is the 18th of January 2010 in Business Standard. There's an unrealistically low rate of rejection. Over 95% of projects that come to us for environmental clearances get approved.
Absolutely. We have, for example, in the North Karanpura coal field, we did a go-no-go exercise for the first time.
Right.
And there are about 59 coal fields in this North Karanpura, 59 mines in this coal field. And out of these, about 38 we have said are in the go area, and 21 are in the no-go area. So you can start mining in those ones which are in the go area, and we put a moratorium on the ones that are in the no-go area. So I think this exercise we are doing for the major coal fields for the first time, so that the Coal India and all the coal companies also know which are the areas in which they can continue working and which are the areas in which they cannot work.
Right. So having said that, there is one question I'd like to raise about Adani mines. In Lohara, 1,750 acres of forest land.
Rejected. There's no point in asking me this.
But again, Business Standard report.
On the 7th of January, we have sent a rejection letter to Adani.
I see. Again?
Yeah, no, it's been rejected.
But the Business Standard said on the 18th of January that this is quote, there is huge, you said this, and you said there is huge pressure on me to clear these projects, but a point has been reached where we have to take a tough stand.
On the 7th of January, we have issued a letter of rejection. I myself had been to Lohara a couple of days ago.
26th.
I'd been there on the 26th. I'd been to Nagpur. I went to Chandrapur. And we're not going to change our decision. It's a closed chapter. It's going to destroy the Tadova Tiger Reserve. It's going to completely decimate something like 1,700 acres of rich teak forest land.
Right.
Very critical ecological habitat. Therefore, it's a no-go area.
How about the transport sector? Transport sector is also
it's
emitting.
a growing sector. Transport is growing, and we'll have to introduce mandatory fuel efficiency standards. We have to improve the auto fuel quality. From April this year, in 13 major cities of India, we'll be moving to Euro 4 standards, and we'll reach Euro 3 standards in the rest of the country. Simultaneously, we must ensure mandatory fuel efficiency standards, whether it is measured in terms of KMPL or in terms of CO2 emissions.
And how are you mandating that?
The technical details are being worked out by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. And we have said that we will, by the end of 2011, we will certainly have mandatory fuel efficiency standards in our country.
Having a regulation for that is great, but how do you implement that? I mean,
through the Motor Vehicles Act. I mean, through technology. Once you set a standard, the automobile manufacturers will automatically become, it will be incumbent upon them to meet those standards.
But a question that I've been meaning to ask you: you're Mr. Paryavaran Bhavan, you're Mr. Green. You're known to be signing all your letters in pink. Why is that?
I have a green ink also. In case it interests you. I like seeing, I get bored writing. I like to write. I write in blue, I write in green, and I write in, most of them go in pink as well. That's just because pink looks nice on white paper.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jairam, Ramesh. Thanks.
Thank you.